Cole attacks Dwight and his crew. It shows Grace, Mitch, Cleo, and Bodhi evaluating the 2 vehicles that will be used to deliver the illegal alcohol. After that, Mitch and Cleo go to Montague Distilleries to obtain the alcohol. They zap a few police officers who have been stationed there in order to enter the storage container and keep the distillery closed. When the gifts are safe, Mitch and Cleo get into one of the cars and drive to Shreveport, while Grace and Bodhi get into the other car and go to St. Louis. Sackrider is seen gleefully discussing how Abel has closed the distillery and how he has installed a GPS tracker in Dwight's car so they can always know where he is, indicating that he has obviously not heard of this occurrence. However, that is insufficient for Jeremiah. Thus, he instructs Cole to put Dwight to death if he wishes to win his father's approval, and he gives Sackrider instructions to ensure that Montague Distilleries is permanently closed. Cole doesn't waste any more time in putting together a crew to pursue and murder Dwight as soon as he stops in Arkansas. We don't get a clear explanation for Musso's crazy decision, but I suppose it's because Bill was very close to discovering that Dwight is working for the feds, and he had his men surreptitiously follow him, almost spotting him at his meeting with Deacon. Of course, Bodhi has no idea what this particular issue is, but a brief scene showing Bill in the federal prison allegedly run by Musso proves that he is the one who had Bill arrested. A highway patrol officer stops Mitch and Cleo, and Dwight, Bigfoot, and Tyson become aware that Jeremiah's men are pursuing them. Bigfoot knocks out the guys ordered to assassinate Dwight when he, Tyson, and Dwight pull into a gas station. From a distance, Cole observes this and feels let down by his troops. The highway patrolman who apprehended Mitch and Cleo freely acknowledges that Cole had dispatched him to harass them. As a result, Mitch and Cleo overpower the officer and flee while he is inspecting the package the couple is transporting. He is a man of few words when they arrive at Johnny Wednesday's door. He simply offers Mitch and Cleo the money, lets his men unload the alcohol, and tells them that their product is in good hands. According to Art's call on Bill's disappearance, trouble is brewing somewhere, which is why Grace and Bodhi's unit is the only one that hasn't encountered any problems yet. Bodhi informs Grace that although they are undoubtedly going through a difficult time, they must have faith in Dwight's plan since, should they be successful, there will be significant long-term advantages to this tactic. Dwight plans to sell booze illegally. In Tulsa King Season 3, Episode 6, Dwight tells Joanne the truth about his relationship with Musso. Joanne naturally asks him why he is submitting to the feds, and Dwight responds that he and his entire staff are at a point where they stand to lose a great deal. The problem with success is that the dread of failing or experiencing a setback becomes more overwhelming as one rises in the ranks. Musso is taking advantage of Dwight's desire to rise to the position of one of America's most prominent gangsters because he is aware of this. Speaking of obstacles to Dwight's ascent, Mitch informs Bigfoot and Cleo that the police might accept the story they're promoting, which holds that Leary died in a routine inspection while working in the dark after his body was discovered in the bourbon storage unit at Montague Distilleries. However, the murder scene was set up so that Bodhi would discover the body first, which is why Bodhi is upset about everything. Bodhi hasn't recovered from Jimmy's death yet, and witnessing Leary in that condition, his skull shattered like a watermelon, has brought back his trauma. He apologizes to Bodhi and tells him that it's all for a good cause while he gripes to Mitch about this. Since the distillery has been closed until the investigation into the incident is finished, a humorous cut to a member of Tulsa's ABLE, Alcoholic Beverage Laws Enforcement, agency demonstrates that the murder and Bodhi's horrific experience have been for nothing. Seeing Cole seeing all of this from a distance, Cleo, Mitch, Bodhi, and Bigfoot come to the realization that the Dunmyers are employing every weapon in the shed to force Dwight out of business. Dwight meets with his team and informs them that until Montague Distilleries regains its license, they will have to sell their alcohol illegally. Bodhi notes that since this is not a low-cost endeavor, it cannot be a long-term solution. As a result, Dwight discloses his Plan B, which calls for extending the distillery's reach outside of Tulsa and pursuing nationwide distribution. Dwight ends the discussion by telling everyone to remain on standby until further orders are given because it seems agreeable to everyone. Since Johnny Wednesday can assist them in moving the alcohol, Mitch and Cleo are told to go to Shreveport to see him. Goody enters the room to inform Dwight that Bill has vanished as Mitch and Cleo leave. Goody wants to make sure that Dwight hasn't done anything serious, like killing Bill, because Dwight was the last person to see Bill in person. Dwight claims that they simply spoke and that's about it, despite the fact that he actually had nothing to do with Bill going missing. He then starts speculating about who could be at fault in this situation.